This is the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
During the miraculous events that unfolded for 4 days in December of 1531, our blessed Lord willed to meet mankind through his own mother, Santa Maria de Guadalupe. At dawn on the morning of December 9th, 1531, a humble, recent convert to the Catholic faith named Juan Diego was walking 9 miles on his way to attend Mass on the then Feast of the Immaculate Conception. As the 57-year-old Aztec Indian passed by the hill of Tepeyac just outside Mexico City, he heard the beautiful singing of birds which seemed to come from heaven. Juan Diego looked to see where the heavenly music was coming from when he suddenly heard a young woman's voice affectionately calling his name.
Juanito, Juan Dieguito.
Reaching the top of the hill, he encountered a beautiful dark-skinned woman surrounded by radiant light and music. Her clothes shine like the sun. Speaking in his own native Aztec language, she said,
My dear little son, I love you. I desire you to know who I am. I am the ever-Virgin Mary, Mother of the true God, who is the origin of all life, who creates all things and keeps them in being, the Lord of heaven and earth.
Our Lady told Juan Diego to go to the Bishop of Mexico City and request that a church be built where his people could experience her love and compassion. After being put off by the bishop's servants, Juan Diego was finally granted an audience with Franciscan Bishop Fray Juan Zumárraga. At first, the bishop didn't believe him and asked him to come back on another day. A disappointed Juan Diego returned to Tepeyac and asked Our Lady to use someone else more worthy than himself. She assured him that he was personally chosen to be her ambassador. The next day, he returned to plead with the bishop. Even though the bishop was impressed by Juan's persistence, the bishop was still not sure. He sent Juan Diego to tell the lady he needed a sign in order to know if it was truly her. After hearing the bishop's request, Our Lady told Juan to return the next day and she would give him the sign he needed. Returning home, Juan Diego found his uncle Juan Bernardino very ill and close to death. Instead of coming back the next day, Juan stayed home and took care of his ailing uncle. Early on December the 12th, Juan Diego returned to Mexico City to find a priest to administer the last rites to his dying uncle. On his way, he went around the back of Tepeyac Hill to avoid Our Lady. But she met him anyway, telling him not to worry, that his uncle was already healed. The Blessed Virgin said,
My little son, do not be distressed and afraid. Am I not here who am your mother? Are you not under my shadow and protection? Your uncle will not die at this time.
Juan Diego was to learn later that at the moment Our Lady appeared to his uncle, he was restored to health. She urged Juan to go to the top of the hill, where he would find flowers miraculously growing. Juan was astonished to see so many vibrant Castilian roses despite the frost. He cut them and gathered them into his tilma or cloak. Our Lady arranged the flowers with her own hands, rolled up the tilma, and ordered Juan Diego not to open his tilma until he was in the presence of the bishop. After being harassed by the bishop's servants, Juan Diego was finally brought in to see him. After explaining all the details of his conversation with Our Lady, he let down his tilma and the roses fell to the floor. Juan was surprised when everyone in the room also went down on their knees. A life-size image of the Blessed Virgin Mary had miraculously appeared on Juan Diego's tilma. A teary-eyed and repentant Bishop Juan Zumárraga promised to build a shrine that Our Lady, Santa Maria de Guadalupe, had requested. In a short time, a chapel was built, and the miraculous image was venerated by the faithful. The multitudes began to stream in to see the heavenly image and hear the story from Juan Diego himself. Many miracles started happening, and in the following 7 years, some 9 million natives were baptized and converted to Jesus Christ because of the faith of Juan Diego and the miracle of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Like what you just heard? Share it with your family and friends. And thanks for listening.